Well, hello there. Welcome back to the channel if you've seen this before. If not, I'll give you a quick little rundown on what we do here. So we're not like most review channels. We don't really do any prep. I watch the movie, and then I come and plop down on a chair and talk about it. No script, very minimal notes that I can barely read half the time. Yeah, no jump cuts, just me rambling on about what I think about a movie after I watched it. So let's, if that's something you're into, which I doubt, but give me a shot, please. Anyway, spoiler alert, you know the drill, probably. If not, it's a spoiler, so you know what that is, obviously. I'm going to be talking about the movie, scenes in the movie, and things that happen at the very end of the movie, aka the end. Yeah, perfect. So, what did I watch today? Well, we got green going because we watched a Predator movie. So let's pretend that I just killed one myself. Yeah, right. I would be like destroyed within seconds of being in its presence. But let's just pretend I killed one and this glowing blood is illuminating my face for this wonderful review. Yeah, so I watched Predator, Killer of Killers, which is streaming right now on, is it Disney Plus or Hulu or something like that? Anyway, that's where it is. That's totally where I watched it. So yeah, let's get into it. I did the spoilers. So this one's kind of an anthology series. So we got a couple of stories that tie in at the end, though, which is a nice little touch. So first story is called The Shield. It takes place in the 800s in like the Viking era, Scandinavia or whatever, which is delightful. Always love the Viking stuff. Very cool. Anyway, we have Ursa and her son, is it Anders, I think, who are going to some opposing village, some opposing clan's village to take them out. So she's looking for the person that killed her father, and she's taking her son to become a man, or something like that. Anyway, they arrive on this village, and they do a pretty good job of taking him down. They have the leader tied up or whatnot, and she wants her son to kill him. And he's like, "You can't." He's trying to, I guess, talk his way out of it. He's like, "There's no honor in killing a man that's tied up," etc., etc. Yeah, someone puts an axe in his leg and basically wants Anders to do the final blow, or so does. Anyway, they dispatch him. It's clearly not the right village, so they move on to the next one. So there's more carnage. Just a bunch of Vikings ripping the shit out of this village. And they finally get to the end game boss. So there is a little flashback. They show who killed her father when she was young, etc. And yeah, it's this dude. He looks Russian or Slavic or something. I'm not really sure. He's got that kind of like the fur hat thing going on and all that. So anyway, they find him. Needless to say, he's kind of doing his macho talk, and good old Anders takes him down. So good on you, boy. You done well. That's when the Predator shows up. So obviously the Predator has identified Ursa as the best target in this area to take out, I guess. I don't know how they work. Essentially, I'm not one, but that's sort of how it's gone along. They want to hunt the hunter. You know what I'm saying? Like, even for the first movie, like, they were commandos. You know what I mean? And in Prey, they were like warriors and whatnot. So obviously Ursa fits that as well. So there's a big brawl where Predator has this new kind of weird weapon. It's like a gauntlet type thing that gets charged, and boom, a little energy burst sends people flying, which it uses to some pretty good effect. Takes out, all the remaining Vikings, essentially. Knocks Ursa off a cliff, essentially, down into like the ice water. So there's a brief little fight where she does what she can, but it's a friggin' Predator, and it's not just a regular Predator, it's a big ass one. I don't know if it's one of like I don't know what they're called, the evolved ones or the super Predators or whatever from that movie, whatever one it was. I don't know. I think it's the one that no one likes. But whether it's one of those or not, I mean, it would make sense because it's friggin' huge. It obviously has seen battles too, because the gauntlet thing that's attached to its arm is like on like a severed stump kind of thing. So that's fun. Anyway, she goes flying off a cliff, uses her broken shield to like cling to the side of the ice wall, but it gives and she plummets and she falls through the ice into the water. Boom, predator comes down too. So he's looking through the ice. She's right there. She's looking at him like, ah, fuck. Yeah, heat vision, right? So can't see her. Interesting. So she climbs out of the water into a later area. This predator's getting frustrated. It's like using this little gauntlet thing to blow apart a bunch of like shipwrecks that are frozen into the ice in the area. Well, she comes from above with an anchor and strikes the predator. The anchor gets caught in his gun or whatever, or his gauntlet thing, and he's about to attack her, and she puts the shield through the ice, and they go falling through the ice. And this anchor is pulling this predator down. She's like, good riddance, you piece of crap. As she's swimming up, grabs her leg too, so she's going down. So there's a big underwater fight. She's like strangling it with the chain and whatnot, and this thing's charging up its little pulse weapon again. She's like, shit, that's not good. Not only that, holding my breath underwater, this is not ideal. Anyway, quick thinking, puts the shield up just as the predator, so since they're floating, physics equal and opposite reaction force, right? So the force of the thing launching the wave of whatever it is also pushes it back. So it sends her flying out of the water. That's convenient, right? Lands onto the ice. She's alive. But it also sends this predator flying back and then impaled on the anchor that dragged him. Dragged? Right? Anyway, anchor's at the bottom. He's attached. Boom. Head impaled on the spike of the anchor. He dead. Hooray! Then her son dies in her arms. It's like, did you kill the monster? Yeah. So not a very happy ending by any means. Anyway, now we cut to story number 2, which is called The Sword. And this is in 1600s, like feudal Japan type samurai and ninja stuff, which we have. So there are 2 brothers who are set to inherit their father's dynasty, but they're pitted against each other at their father's will, or request, or whatever you want to say. Kenji, the one brother, does not want to fight, and is the other one, is it Kiyoshi, I think? I'm really bad with Japanese names. I'm sorry again. I know the anime thing was like, I was struggling this whole time. Anyway, Kenji's bro. Kenji doesn't want to fight. He puts the weapon down, but bro attacks anyway and just does a little cut on his cheek saying, okay, I won, basically. I struck you. And for whatever reason, that earns him the kingdom, even though it wasn't an actual fight. But anyway, Kenji's disgraced, essentially, and goes and trains with ninjas. So, father dies. Brother inherits the palace or the region or whatever. I'm not really knowledged on Japanese history, so yeah, whatever it is, his region that he rules over, whatever. Anyway, cut to the future. There's a guard taking a pee, and a log floats up, and out of the log, a little blow dart gun, thunk, hits the pee guy. And guess what? This is Kenji back years later for revenge. I guess he didn't take too kindly on his brother attacking him when he didn't attack his brother, which is fair. I get it, dude. I get it. Anyway, there's a cool scene of him like doing his ninja stuff, and guards are one by one noticing him in this bell tower, and they keep trying to hit the bell, but he keeps using like rope chains and stuff and swords to like stop them just before they hit the bell so they can't notify anyone. Takes out like 4 or 5 of them. And then you hear bong, and he looks across, and there's another bell tower. Son of a bitch. So his he's revealed. Anyway, he uses like a red smoke bomb to take out all the guards and finds his bro, and they have a little scuffle, and his brother's basically, as they're fighting, is putting on his samurai armor, which is kind of cool. Anyway, eventually Kenji does get the upper hand and has him at sword point against a railing or whatever. And foreshadowing, this railing was damaged in their original fight as children. So needless to say, he does a little, gives him the same cut, and he puts his sword down. I guess he's like, okay, we're good, we're even now. But because of the damage from the previous fight, the beam breaks, brother falls off the cliff. Oh no. Cue the predator. It's not a super predator this time, it's like more of like a nimble looking one. He says, okay, well I guess this is my target, right? He won the fight, so he is up in the rafters, and or Kenji is hiding, I guess, when he sees this thing taking out all of the samurai guards that are finally getting there to stop what already happened. You know, good times. I guess they can't just exactly radio each other, right? So, anyway, they're showing up and getting slaughtered by this predator. Kenji's hiding in the rafters like ninja stealth, right? Well, guess what? That doesn't work when Predator has heat vision. So, Predator instantly like launches something at him, and Kenji's like, "Oh shit, he sees me." Okay, well that's not good. There's a whole chase scene on top of the roofs of the building, and he eventually jumps down to like a pond or something, or a river down by the edge of the castle and whatnot. And lo and behold, Broseph is down there, and he immediately draws a sword and he's ready to finish this. And they have a very brief scuffle, and Kenji's like, no, hang on, there's like bigger things happening right now. Lo and behold, thump right behind Predator. Boom. So they basically double team the Predator, attempt to take him out. He's got some pretty interesting weapons. He's got like a chain grappling hook. The Predator does. He has like little explosive, those little floaty bomb things that explode, drone, whatever they are. Which ultimately is his downfall. And so how it works is, well, okay, first of all, they're both injured in the fight. They're both stabbed, essentially, but, you know, Broseph a little bit more than Kenji. But Kenji uses one of the little exploding ball things to hook it in the grappling hook, and when the Predator retracts it, it, like, lodges into his thing, and boom, explodes. You see him, he's camouflaged, but you see a big green splat against a tree behind them, so it's like, okay. And then Kenji and brother basically just get their swords ready, and you're like, okay, well, they're gonna finish what they started now that they've dealt with the Predator. But lo and behold, nope. It's a double strike to basically cut Predator in half. That's fun. Anyway. Kiyoshi, I'm pretty sure that's his name, succumbs to his wounds beside Kenji as they like watch the sun by the river, and it's peaceful and sad, and he lost his bro, and you know, it is what it is. That's the end of that story. So far they both ended on a kind of a sad note, you know what I mean? Ursa loses her son, Kenji loses his brother. What happens in the third one? Well, here we go. So we cut to World War II era. So we have John Torres, who is taking a joyride in one of his old jalopies that I guess he's like kind of a mechanic or whatever. And anyway, car breaks down as he's driving along, looking at an airplane. He wants to be a pilot. That's kind of the thing. Him and his dad are fixing it on the side of the road, and his dad basically says, yeah, so you've been drafted, by the way. I keep bailing you out of shit, but this one I can't help you with. So lo and behold, he's sent to the war, which happened a lot. Yeah, that's crazy. I'm going to go off on a little tangent here. It's just crazy. When I was growing up, like, World War II veterans were, like, very commonplace. Okay, I'm showing my age here. And there were still, like, World War I veterans alive. They were old, like, very elderly even, like, back then, but they still existed. Like, I actually remember the news when they said the last surviving World War I veteran passed away. And I was like, wow, that's, like, an end of an era. But now it's getting to that with, like, World War II veterans, which is crazy. So anyway, tangent aside, he's drafted and he's on a carrier, and apparently they don't show it, but he like damaged his plane and he's repairing his plane. He's basically grounded for now, I guess, for being reckless and whatever. And his commanding officer, Captain Vandy, is basically giving him shit. Like, listen, I know you want to fly, but you wrecked this shit. You fix that plane and we'll talk maybe, I guess. Anyway. The remnants of a squadron return, severely damaged. They say something's out there taking them down, and Torres examines one of the engines, and it has this weird metal-looking thing in it. Well, it's one of the Predator's weapons, lo and behold. Future tech, alien tech. So he's messing around with it, and he's trying to pry it open and cut it, and he finally puts a blowtorch to it, and it like activates and opens up and flies out the side of the aircraft carrier, making a big hole in the wall. And he's like, oh shit, that's not good. So that's good. It reacts to heat. He figures that much out. So he needs to take this information because Vandy and his squadron are already going out to attack the enemy. But these ain't no Zeros that they're facing. This is a Predator dropship or Predator scout ship, I think. It looked like the same one from like the movies, like the scout ship or whatever. So I'm going to assume that's what it is, kind of. Maybe it's not the same thing. Doesn't matter. Anyway, it's out there and it's more equipped than a bunch of World War II Wildcats, which, yeah, I think they were F4 Wildcats that they were flying at the time, I believe. Correct me if I'm wrong, which I may be. Anyway, sends out the squadron. He's basically doing his best to get his jalopy out because the radio, they're too far out, so he needs to fly out and meet them so he can warn them about the fact that they're not facing the Japanese right now. Well, anyway, cut to the squadron. They see Japanese, and there's air fights, dog fights, and everything. This predator ship is cloaked and watching, and excuse me. The Wildcats win, and I guess he says, "Okay, well, these are my targets. Then we found the deadliest warrior." Oh God, remember that show? Yeah. So he starts taking out the Wildcats eventually. One of them, just as Torres shows up to warn them, Vandy's like, dude, what the hell are you doing here? This is like an active combat zone. Like, get the hell back to the carrier. Anyway, just as one of them is about to tell him, I'm like, yeah, man, go back to the carrier. He, like, flies right into the cloaked predator ship and explodes. So he's dead. That's what you get for being a jerk, you see? That's, you don't have to be an asshole about it. See, I'm getting so worked up, I'm coughing now. Anyway, so there's a big aerial dogfight, and these planes are getting taken out one by one. There's one, I guess one of the aces or whatever, seems to be able to dodge some of these chain hook things. So what's happening is the predator ship is launching like a spike that goes through the airplane, opens up, hooks it, and then pulls it back. I don't know if it's like just attracted to the ship or if it just pulls it back because it knows like the planes can only go forward or something. I don't know. It doesn't matter. It's crazy alien tech. Anyway, it's using that stuff. Well, this one ace, he's dodged a couple of them, and he's shooting at it and all that, but then lo and behold, the he gets taken out anyway, because I mean, you can be like the best ace in the world, and it's an alien ship. Like, it can do things that, you know, can move forward, backward, up. It's a dragonfly or UFO type thing. It can go any direction. It can stop mid-trajectory, which it does. One of the guys is coming up behind him and shooting at the engines, and it just stops and reverses, and then puts the engine's afterburner on and torches the guy's plane, and you see the guy burning, and it's all really lovely. Anyway, it ends up coming down to basically Torres and Vandy, and Vandy's like, okay, well, what the hell? What do you got for me? You came out here to warn me. He's like, I think they're attracted to heat or something, or they can deal with heat. And Vandy's like, okay, so, and he's like, we gotta climb and cool off the engines. Good thinking. They do that. They climb as high as they can. Ship is following them. I mean, it's the best plan they have, right? I mean, it's probably not gonna end well, but they're giving it the old college try. Anyway. Just as they're about to cut the engines, basically turning off all heat, which plan you'll see unfold later by Torres, Vandy's like, listen, kid, I'm going to give you some time. No, what are you doing? Anyway, he sacrifices himself, essentially, by leaving his engine on as Torres is completely goes blue, like no heat. So, takes him out, launches a big hook thing, and like his head flies off and everything. Very lovely. Must have been great for Torres to see his commanding officer get like beheaded in midair. Anyway, Predator ship flies past and then starts going back down towards the ground, I guess. Maybe it's going to take out the aircraft carriers. Can't even see Torres at this point. So Torres is nose down now, right behind this ship. The ship has no idea. He says, okay, well, here's what we're going to do. We're going to shoot at the engines. So he does that. And, I mean, minimal damage, I guess, right? Predator wises up to it and basically just stops midair, and Torres goes flying right past me. He's like, what the fuck? Okay, well, this isn't good. So he basically turns his engine on, puts his heat signature back on, but he's got to fly, right? So he's like, okay, I got a good idea. Let's fly into the enemy flak. So there's a naval battle going on, and he decides to fly in knowing the Predator ship's going to follow him. And he's a much smaller target than this giant thing. It's cloaked, fair enough. They don't know it's there, but yeah, the flak is hitting the Predator ship more so than his little F4, you know, Wildcat fighter plane. And he's flying, leading it right towards like a battleship or a cruiser or something, and the deck gun turns and fires, and he moves out of the way, and it ends up hitting the alien ship like full on and knocking it right into the water. He's like, yeah, but it's not out. It has shielding maybe, or just way better armor or something to survive like a deck gun. That's pretty impressive, actually. Good job, Predators. Anyway, it goes up under the water and it surfaces again. It's chasing. It's like, oh, you gotta be fucking kidding me. Anyway, he thinks quickly. He's like, okay, well, I've seen what it's done to the other aircraft. So he floods his engine and basically turns his engine into essentially a bomb, compressed gas and all that shit. So lo and behold, hook thing goes through, grabs his plane, goes through the engine, pulls it back. He bails quickly before it hits, and the engine smashes into the Predator ship, and it's flooded, and it explodes, and the Predator ship is taken down. All's well that ends well. Cut to him back in America at his little mechanic shop or whatever. Lights outside, Predator ship descends, takes off, crop circles. That was a cool little thing. So they went and got him. Turns out, Act 4, they went and got all these people. So he's brought in, he has a little collar put on him, and he's dragged to a room, and lo and behold, there's Ursa, there's Kenji. He's like, oh, people, hell yeah! He tries to talk to them, and they are both obviously from completely different time periods, speaking completely different language, but due to his training and being in the Second World War against the Japanese, he knows some very minimal Japanese and can like half-ass communicate with Kenji. Ursa, good luck. He doesn't speak, Norwegian or Icelandic or whatever she is. But, yeah. Anyway, they're dragged out into this giant arena where there's a massive-ass, like, kaiju skull, and on top of it, a Predator King. So that's kind of cool. He's huge. He's, like, really big. He has a cape made of, like, xenomorph tails and shit, and, like, big spikes on his back, and got, like, a bone plate mask or whatever. He's pretty badass looking, I'll be honest. Anyway, he speaks to them through the colors, which translates to their native language. So English, Scandinavian, whichever dialect it is, and Japanese. It's basically, you guys have to fight, and whoever lives gets to face me. Yay! What a great prize, right? Anyway, Ursa's a warrior. She's down. She's like, okay, let's do this. John's trying to reason, like, no. Like, why don't we just, like, work together? She doesn't speak English. So she attacks him, and Kenji doesn't want to fight either, so he's essentially in defense mode. He's not, doing strikes, but he's stopping the blows as he can. Anyway, while this is going on, I guess the Predator King's pissed off. He's like, come on, guys, this is pathetic. So he unleashes, like, this giant-ass, like, reptilian tusk creature. I don't know what the hell it is, but anyway. Comes flying out, and they're all, like, trying to fight it and whatnot. And I think, yeah, Torres ends up saving Ursa for a very brief moment. So she's like, okay, well, that's pretty chill of you, so I guess we will work together. And just as she comes to that realization, he gets eaten, so that's fun. So Kenji and Ursa are doing what they can to try to take this thing down, and we see Torres in the stomach, like, ew, what the fuck's going on? What the hell? I've been eaten by a monster. He's not British, and that was a terrible British impression. But anyway, whatever, it doesn't matter. So he's in there, and he finds a predator gauntlet. So I guess this thing eats, like, warriors that fail, right? So obviously some predators are probably fighting and fed to it. Or no, they show it eat one, I think. Yeah, there's, like, a disgraced one or something. Anyway, whatever. Predator gauntlet's in there. They end up... The two outside end up killing this creature and, like, disemboweling it and cutting its throat, and... in comes sanitation. So they just, like, push it with a shovel into some, like, disposal area, I guess. Anyway, lo and behold, he comes flying out with, like, a Predator motorcycle. Not a motorcycle, it's like a hover bike thing with this gauntlet, and somehow, I guess, figured out how to dismantle the explosive collars. Oh yeah, so they're explosive, by the way. So they have a disgraced Predator that, like, is wearing one, and it explodes by beep booping. So they know that that's the deal with those. Anyway, he frees them from that. They fall to the ground. They hop on the bike. They ride up the skull to the Predator King, who holds his own very well. These are two warriors and a pilot. So the pilot's like, okay, I'm going to try to steal the ship. Well, you two fight him, which they do, and they're getting their arses kicked. He's holding his own, but I guess Torres manages to start the ship somehow, and the thrust engines push the king flying back. Excuse me. And Ursa uses her shield to, like, slam in and hold Kenji so they don't get blown away. And he's basically like, come on, get in the back. And they climb in the back, and they go to take off. But lo and behold, Predator King has like a grappling hook gun that launches into the ship. Ursa's like, okay, well, this is my moment here. I always wanted to die in battle, go to Valhalla, you know the deal. So she's like, listen, I'm going to take him down, in her language. They don't really know, I guess. But she slides down the thing with her shield and slams it into the machine, severing the chain mechanism, and they go flying off, and she's back on the planet, so she doesn't get to go flying into outer space. Anyway, Predators obviously don't like that, so you see a bunch of ships lifting off and following them off into the distance. Then you cut to a scene of Ursa is in like a cryo chamber. I guess they're going to use her for another battle because she did pretty well. Just maybe pair her up with two dumber people, I guess. I don't know. Anyway, as they're wheeling her through like this Indiana Jones style warehouse at the end, you see this weird creature with like 6 arms that I don't know what it is. It's probably from like deep lore or something. Then they pass another cryo chamber with a figure in it. A lot of people are saying it's Dutch. It does not look like Dutch. Like it looks more like fucking Dick Nuts from like The Predator or whatever. Like his hair is like shaved down and whatever. Dutch had that like 80s. You know what I'm talking about. I don't think it's Dutch, but people seem convinced that it is. I don't know. And then the last one we see, we zoom in on it, and boom! Naru from Prey, frozen in a cryo chamber. So that's what happened to her, unfortunately. Which means maybe we'll see her again. That'd be cool. I would, because Amber Midthunder is awesome. Anyway, that's the film. What did I think? Well, I thought it was friggin' awesome, actually. Just the little subtle things, like even each chapter, like the first chapter about the Viking thing, it said like the shield, and it had like a rune symbol on it, which maybe meant shield or something. And then like the next one had like a Japanese calligraphy symbol, which I'm guessing meant sword. Maybe I don't know. I can't read ancient Norse runes, or was it kanji? Is that what it's called? Can't read either of those. Anyway, that was a cool little effect. The fact that each of them lost someone dear to them. Well, I guess I should say fucking spoilers in this part of it too. Anyway, they each lost someone. The boy, the bro, the cap. Oh, I forgot to mention too, in the arena thing, they were each given a weapon of their tribe. So Kenji gets a katana, Ursa gets a battle axe, and then up comes a little flintlock pistol, which is apparently an ongoing joke with the Predator series. But anyway, it looks like, I'm pretty sure it's the same one that was in Prey that like boom killed the guy. Spoiler alert for Prey. Shit, I'm so bad at this. Anyway, that's fun. Seeing all the characters from different eras in the same place and seeing their stories of how they took out a predator. So basically what it's alluded to is that predators, if they face a prey that defeats one of their own, they go and capture that to, I guess, have like a Thunderdome type deal where the killer of the killers, hence the title, I guess, gets to face the king or something like that. I'm assuming. I don't know. So that's a neat idea though. But yeah, seeing from like vastly different eras, that's pretty rad. I mean, I wonder if we're going to see more of that in a future installment. It'd be neat to see like a Roman gladiator type deal, or like a gunslinger from the Wild West, or something like that. That'd be really, really neat to see. So we'll see where that goes. But they got Naru, so I guess we'll see her eventually at some point. Maybe, I don't know. That what is it? Predator Badlands is coming out. I have no idea if that'll tie into this at all, or if it's a completely separate thing. But I guess we'll see. So yeah, overall very cool. The animation style, it was made in Unreal Engine, so that's kind of neat. Everything looked great though. Yeah, very good quality. The action scenes were good. They were a little bit like it's animated, so slightly breaking the laws of physics a little bit, but not enough for you to be like, oh, this is ridiculous. I mean, okay. So in the World War II one, there's a scene where his plane at one of the pontoons or whatever catches on fire, and he like climbs out onto the wing of the plane as it's in the air and is like kicking at it and holding on with a hammer. Okay, so like that's a little ridiculous. Yeah, but whatever. It's fine. But other than that one scene, most of it seemed to be genuinely pretty realistic. It was very cool to see like an air battle with one of these Predator ships, because I don't think we've seen that ever really before. So that was neat. Yeah, again, World War II. That I would actually love to see a Predator movie take place fully in World War II, or even World War One. That'd be badass. But yeah, I guess, you know, it opens up that whole category, right? We did Prey with the 1700s or whatever, colonial time. So hopefully they do make more, you know, period piece films, because I think there's huge potential for that. Anyway, we'll see what happens. So yeah, overall, really cool. What am I going to rate this guy? I'm going to give it... I'm going to give it a 7.9, because it was really, really pretty good, honestly. I think that's higher than most people have rated it, but I really did thoroughly enjoy it. So, should you check it out? Yeah, you should. If you have Disney Plus or Hulu or whatever it's on, check it out. Or find a way to watch it, you know, whatever. I won't tell anyone, don't worry. Yeah, that's about it, though. So, honestly, check it out. It's the first anthology I've done on the channel, and I might do some more, because they're pretty fun, actually. I know I want to do VHS at some point and stuff like that, so... Yeah, very cool movie. Check it out. Predator, Killer of Killers, out now on either Disney Plus or Hulu. Or I guess they're both the same thing, right? Because doesn't Disney own Hulu? Well, it doesn't matter. Anyway, there it is. Enjoy.